We have the Steve Harvey Morning Show being highlighted, and it's not a good look. The co-host of the Steve Harvey Morning Show, Shirley Strawberry.
Good morning, everyone. This is your girl, Shirley Strawberry.
She's famous on the show for her Strawberry Letter, where she and Steve Harvey, they give relationship advice.
Subject, my wife is living like she's single. Dear Steve and Shirley, I have been married to my childhood sweetheart for 8 years, and we have 2 wonderful children. Early on, we had problems in our marriage, and we separated for a short period. But we worked things out, and I thought we were back on track. My wife admitted that during our separation, she had flings with 2 other guys.
Oh, me that he need to be making 6 figures to keep her happy. Now you got 2 jobs that ain't making 6 figures. So you just working all the day and you still ain't making 6 figures. But this helper right here done told you that's what you need to do to make her happy. You get on back out there and get the flanging again. See, that's what you probably need to do. Now she has a demanding full-time job, so she don't do much around the house. Now I want y'all to listen to this right here. He working 2 jobs already.
Right.
She got a demanding full-time job. But he say, I cook, clean, take the kids to and from school, wash clothes, help the kids with homework, and maintain the lawn.
Shirley Strawberry, she's been in broadcast for nearly 40 years. Originally from Chicago, that's where a lot of broadcast talent came from back in the day that would get picked up for national syndication. Shirley was also on the morning show of the late Doug Banks. In Chicago, she was a legend on the airways before being introduced to Steve Harvey in LA when he was on a local Los Angeles radio station with his morning show. Steve put Shirley on his show back around 2000, and when he was syndicated back in 2005, Shirley went along with him. They've been working together for well over 20 years, close to 25 years. Shirley got a divorce from her first husband. She was single for a very long time, and over the years, she dropped some hints about the mistakes she made in her marriage. She still always maintained her privacy. So she was career-driven. She didn't have her daughter until she was about 42 years old. And after being single for so long after her divorce and having a successful career in broadcast, she decided that she wanted to love again and that she was going to put herself out there. That's when she met her husband number 2 in 2013, Ernesto Williams, originally from Augusta, Georgia, but he moved to the Atlanta area in 1994. At the time, Shirley's only child, her daughter, was in high school, and Shirley said that one of her female friends introduced her to Ernesto when she took her to his concierge business in Atlanta. Her friend made up some quick excuse and left Shirley there alone with Ernesto. Miss Strawberry spoke openly about her love story in a piece about her wedding, saying that the day that she met him at his business, they opened up about their past and hopes for the future. Then Ernesto arranged for one of his company's drivers to take her home, and he expressed interest in taking her on an official date. She said that he was an honest, nice gentleman and was just so kind to her. She told him that she wasn't trying to be a girlfriend and she was looking to be a wife. So the following year, Ernesto got together with Shirley's teenage daughter, who was a senior in high school, and Steve Harvey to propose to Shirley live on Steve Harvey's radio show.
Yes, sir.
Would you die for her?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Would you take care of her before you took care of yourself?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you this here. Would you love everything about her and everybody connected to her as if it was your own?
Yes, sir.
Okay then, Shirley.
Yes.
This your man right here. What?
It's Ernesto.
Wait a minute.
This Shirley.
How you didn't know that was your man on the phone?
Is Ernesto. And this is your birthday, Shirley. And Ernesto is here. For those of you that's listening, a man is walking in the room right now.
Oh my God.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You all right?
Oh my God.
It's your day.
What the hell? Shut up.
Love you.
I love you too.
What the hell? Shut up.
Got one more thing for you.
For me?
Yes.
Steve Harvey, who Shirley says is her big brother and her uncle, never mind that she's older than him, advised Shirley about how to handle her relationship, and he was 100% on board with Ernesto. Steve was very supportive of their relationship. He even walked Shirley down the aisle at their wedding in January 2015, which was also a celebration for Ernesto's 50th birthday. Shirley said that she had learned from her mistakes in her first marriage and wanted to be a better wife in her second marriage, saying, quote, "I'm working to be an even better wife to my second husband with the lessons that I've learned from the mistakes that I made." Ernesto was described as an entrepreneur to the Steve Harvey audience. But what they didn't tell you was that he was a card-carrying pookie with a bunch of children and a long rap sheet. He's also into a lot of shady practices, and now he's being accused of some very disgusting behavior.
Children underage.
Take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates.
What?
It's now coming out that Ernesto Williams, also known as Nesto, he calls himself Triple OG Nesto, but he's really just Ernest. Guess he reinvented himself by adding the O at the end of his last name years ago. But
Look,
Ernest
his name
has a
is really
past
just
that Shirley
Ernest,
Strawberry
girl.
knew about, and she's still been supporting her husband for the
added
last
a O
year since
on
he's
the
been
end of
going
his
through his
name.
latest legal troubles. Now, they presented him on the Steve Harvey show as a businessman who owned a bunch of upscale businesses in Atlanta. He owns an upscale grooming business for rich clientele without being so fancy, though. We're talking about barbershops. He also has a security company. Ernest, the self-described Triple OG, he's been committing crimes since back in the 80s, running in and out of the courthouse and the jailhouse for 40 years, while Miss Strawberry, she's been on the radio for 40 years. He's done state and federal time, 2 cases of armed robbery, one in Cobb County, Georgia, the other in Douglas County, Georgia, sentenced to 10 years in the state for the Douglas incident. He served Fed time. That was for a federal bank fraud case. All of that was before Miss Shirley met him. He's been sitting in a jail in the Atlanta metro. He's been detained for nearly a year.
Look,
and
he
people
been
are
in
now
jail for
connecting him
over
to
a
Shirley
year.
Strawberry after a recent bond
You
hearing
talk
for
about
those
everybody
charges that
else
he's been
business
locked up
while we
for
don't know
since
about your
last year,
husband.
along with 4
Right.
photos allegedly found on his device. The state says they were inappropriate in nature and displayed individuals under 18.
I think you're right. Ernest Williams. Don't let that lady back in. Ernest Williams.
I
Wave
love
your hand.
Judge
Yeah,
Alex
Judge.
Wayne.
All right, here we go.
Man,
This position, it's those 4 cases, I think, for Mr. Williams. But 355 days without indictment. There's a $15,000 bond as of 10/31/22 for theft by deception. Let's see, 22 CP 211078. Ernest Williams, 355 days without indictment. $75,000 good bond as of December the 31st, 2022, with 3 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony. Position 4 is 22 CP 212559, 355 days without indictment, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counts of conspiracy to commit a felony, and there is a $20,000 split bond as of 10/17/2022. Position 5, 355 days without indictment, 23 CP 215407. I'm assuming you want me to waive, Mr. Lewis?
Sure.
All right, I can say it if you want me to, or do you want me to waive?
I don't think Miss Williams cares. But yeah, wait, Judge.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 other felonies on there that have to do with the nudity, let's say. No bond as of January the 13th, 2023.
nudity under age.
On one of the bonds, I believe that you signed, Judge, you tell him he can't be with his wife. I'm gonna ask that you.
Is that Melody Scretchen?
No, it's the other lady, the SS lady.
Oh, Strawberry.
Yeah.
See how they said
So if you don't mind, let him be with his wife before we end up having a divorce matter.
Right.
Yeah.
Somehow, no, the other
If I
lady.
could be
the
quick on this
SS
one, Judge.
lady.
This is an
I
extremely
didn't look like
dangerous
that
person we're
before.
dealing with here. And there's going to be numerous upcoming warrants coming in this case. I believe Roswell told us today when we checked for an update. Before the 13th, there's going to be about 15 plus more warrants coming his direction, serious felonies in there, for sure.
Good evening, Your Honor. Yes, as Mr. Majeski has stated, he's considered dangerous. There are several pending warrants that will be coming out that, based on their content alone, there's a great likelihood that he's someone who would commit further felonies. Furthermore, without mentioning the facts of the case in front of us, children were involved. The state is requesting a bond, knowing that he has to have a bond because it's been well over 200 days, a bond of $200,000 per count, giving us a grand total of $800,000 bond.
Now, that hearing was just days before the 4th of July weekend. Triple OG Ernesto, he's been sitting in jail for almost a year. Roswell, they've been promising those new charges since January. 7 months later, and now they're saying some more serious felonies will come before July 13th. For the 4 counts related to the photos, Judge Manning granted a bond amount of $200,000 per count, and the other charges, $5,000 per count, for a total bond amount of over $800,000. Other conditions include having to surrender his passport to his attorney because they heard him on a recorded jail call talking to Shirley about him going to stay at her boss, Steve Harvey's house in Abu Dhabi. The jail also recorded him talking to his girlfriend in Florida. And then one person he was ordered to stay away from was Sheridan Strawberry, that's Shirley's 26-year-old daughter and Shirley's grandkids. This is absolutely crazy. And I'm surprised how Miss Strawberry, with her connection to Steve Harvey, was able to keep all of this on the low. Ernest made the news back in October 2022 after being arrested with this woman here for scamming people out of over $1 million, posing as a successful businessman. According to their victims, they said they would coach them and help them grow their business. But after they gave them the money, the victims did not receive any of the services.
Well, more than a dozen people scammed out of $1 million. 2 people have been arrested on a number of fraud charges.
Fox 5's Denise Dillon talked to Roswell police about the pair's extensive business scheme and why they believe there are more victims.
Why? Police say for years these two would convince people to give them money, and in return, they would help them with their business or personal goals. But investigators say it was nothing but a scam.
I would consider them fraudsters.
Roswell police say for years, Ernesto Williams and Erica King passed themselves off as experts in various fields.
And they would align themselves with their victims with promises of being able to grow their brands, their missions, their life goals, their social media followings.
Detectives say Williams and King acted the part, and people paid good money for their services, but walked away with nothing. Police say it was all a scam.
More than a dozen victims and over $1 million in monetary and property loss.
Police say their investigation first started at this home on Pine Grove Road months ago. Investigators say after Williams and King hadn't paid rent for a while, detectives started looking into their financial transactions, and it led them to their extensive scheme. Police say they were convincing.
Individuals who have been doing this for a significant period of time and are proficient enough that they can make people comfortable and act against their better judgment.
Williams and King are now in jail, both facing multiple charges of fraud, forgery, and theft. Police warn if you want to grow your business, make sure you work with a legitimate company.
Try and go with very reputable businesses if you're trying to grow your brand, grow your business, so that you don't end up a victim.
Of those 12 fooled, some were here in Roswell, others across metro Atlanta, and even a couple out of state. And police believe there are many other victims. If you have had any dealings with King or Williams, call police. In Roswell, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
When I say this guy is bad news, not only do you have all these allegations of him scamming people out of $1 million with that lady there, and the allegations involving those 4 photos, but he's got warrants in Henry County, Georgia, Los Angeles County, California, and Orange County, California. He's got a girlfriend in Florida, and Shirley was talking about helping him hide away in the UAE at Steve Harvey's house. And I know somebody with influence had to call around Atlanta to be able to keep this under wraps for so long, since last year. Now, I have to tell you the truth that you're probably not going to hear anywhere else. Some people are saying they feel sorry for Shirley. She didn't know what her husband was up to. One, nobody told Shirley to be pressuring somebody to hurry up and marry her. He proposed in less than a year, and they got married 6 months later after the engagement. What high-quality man is rushing to marry anybody, let alone a senior citizen? That man is at least 10 years younger than her. Only a scammer will go along with that foolishness. But that's what happens when you're old and desperate. You wait all these years, realize you're tired of being lonely, and then they rush to get married out of fear that they have less days ahead of them. This is why a woman with her visibility will marry a career felon. That's why I don't feel sorry for Shirley. She knew that she was getting Pookie. She knew this. But here's the secret that everybody knows. They love Pookie. She thought she had a reformed Pookie, but Pookie was still active out here in these streets. Triple OG, that's what he said. And then these allegations with these pictures, that's just another level of disgusting nonsense. She's meeting this guy, bringing him around her teenage daughter when they first met. She's grown now. But you have women who will move men in with all their young children. They don't know what they're about. And I say this all the time. It's just reckless and stupid. So no, I don't think any of it was Shirley's fault. He obviously committed these crimes, not her. But I don't feel sorry for her. Everybody here is way too old to be making these silly decisions. He's 58 years old. She's about to be 69 years old. We're talking about a woman that's almost 70 years old, trying to figure out how to hide this man at Steve Harvey's house, allegedly. And then Steve, he's always trying to take credit for people's marriages. I'm sure he tried to take credit for hooking them up too. I do believe the whole thing was a setup, because Shirley claims her friend took her over to Ernesto's and just left her there. Like what? And then she said that he was just so kind and nice and honest. According to her, treated her like a queen. Translation, he was just kissing her behind with excessive flattery because he was scamming the whole time, using his proximity to Steve Harvey through her to look legit and scam people. As for Steve Harvey, I just wish he would stop trying to advise people on relationships. He's not qualified. He was the one advising Shirley on this guy here. He'll tell women as long as the man is stripping for them and kissing their behind and the woman's not really putting in any work, that means he's a good guy. But let's go ahead and get the conversation started.
Shout out to
Lessons.
Okay,
yes, I put her
again.
link down below. Please go subscribe to her.
And second of all, no woman with no wig that look like that gonna be able to scam me out of no money. You see that raggedy behind wig she wearing, child? Please.
Yo,
she ain't got no money. But girl,
I'm gonna have to change the title for this shit to this live. I'm gonna do it later.
So girl,
this is tea.
Let me back up a notch on that. First of all, he met Shirley through Steve. Okay, it already came out that that's how she met him, allegedly. But I played that. I wanted y'all to see that. Wanted you to see that because that goes back to what we were originally talking about when we were talking about sacrifices. Okay, I think, like Pink said, I think it was a setup, but I think it was also a sacrifice. That's just my opinion.
Right.
Everything that I'm saying here is, in my opinion, only and alleged. Okay, I think that it was all a setup with Steve because it was his turn to sacrifice somebody, so he chose to sacrifice Shirley and her man. You think he friends with that man? You think he don't know that man history and that man?
Right.
And you know all the rumors they say about Steve. You know what I'm saying? How he was like, a whole pimping. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I mean, and his wife and her ex-husband, who out here now spilling all the beans, who did all that time in prison. You know what I'm saying? So, birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah.
So I truly believe that Steve Harvey knew that man passed. I believe that Shirley knew that man passed. And maybe not to this extent.
Right.
She may not have, as far as kids, I don't think she knew about that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think she knew.
This motherfucker was on the news.
But I think as far as the embezzlement and taking people's identities and scamming people out of their money, I believe Just my opinion that she
Right.
knew. Because listen, how they keep that from everybody for over a year? This man been in court, and I watched Judge Manning. I like her. I was gonna do like a little reaction to her videos, to her court.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because she, girl, she the pre-trial, but girl, her and that Judge Bryant, they something.
Oh, Judge Bryant.
Judge Bryant, it's something. No, the female judge from Atlanta. She on the YouTube too. Her judge court be on there, girl. She be giving them people the business. Always trying to send somebody to jail.
I thought you meant the guy, Judge Bryant. Am I saying his name right? Oh no, Judge Brown.
Oh no.
That's somebody else. That's another.
Judge Joe Brown. Yeah, no, he not on them. What she said?
Oh, she said. I bet Kathy B said.
Yeah, my husband liked them too. He listened to the Steve Morning Show.
Look what Kathy B said. Hold on, let me put it up there. Oops, damn. I keep out of sign in and out with that damn thing. She said, I've been listening to why it does that? I've been listening to Shirley Strawberry for over 30 years when on a different radio show in LA. I think he's a great person.
She's a great person who messed up. Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Yeah.
Holy
Everybody
crap.
I'm telling you, like they be on we see these celebrities, we listen to them every day and we don't know what they go home to.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? They personal lives. Look what this woman been going home to every day, the monster that she been sleeping with every night.
Girl. I just talked about that last week. The monster that you sleep with.
And then the way that the judge had ordered that he not be around her daughter and her grandkids. The daughter is 26. She's not a child. Why he can't be around her unless there's some allegation somewhere? You know what I'm saying? We're gonna dig some more into him now.